This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by Shane Watson. Shane, first of all, thank you very much for your time, especially after a very busy weekend within boxing. First of all, how are we doing, mate? How are we?
Yeah, good mate. Very sunny, lovely weather today in London, so no complaints from me. Yeah, mate, no, good man. Really busy. Got some announcements that should be coming this week, which is good. Just been working hard and quietly behind closed doors rather than being the loud and present character maybe I was before. Just getting stuff done, getting stuff done, and then maybe it can be loud again. Yeah, until then, I will be quiet.
Obviously, talk about the announcements. We do know that big changes come for you in your career. Can you just quickly tell us about what is coming up for yourself without giving too much away about what you're going to be announcing? Just talk about the changes that you've made, I guess, in the last 5, 6 months.
Yep. So, yeah, not too long ago, but yeah, some months ago now, me and Esham departed ways. It's been a big change for me, and I would assume it will be for them as well. There's no hard feelings or anything. I still like Adam and still like talk to some of the guys there and stuff. And still on good terms with all the fighters, man. They still contact me in a friendship obviously kind of way, not a working relationship way. Like fairly often we will still pretty much talk. Yeah, and there's no bad animosity or anything. Just mutually decide to part ways and go and do different things. I was there a long time, nearly 7 years, so I felt like I achieved kind of everything I wanted to achieve there. And mostly as well, I was there pretty much from the beginning with Big Joe, and we achieved good things with some of the other guys as well. Marku got some great wins together. Uh, Lorraine Richards obviously capturing the IBO title, winning British and Commonwealth and the European as well as international titles along the way. Recruiting Sinead Boston, which was something that I was heavily involved in. It was great. Obviously, the English title win with Sold Acres and so on, man. But yeah, we'll be here all day. We talk about everything that we achieved there. It's a great time. Probably one of the best times of my life, actually. So, no, it's good. It's good. It's good to move on. It's good to be doing my own thing now as well. But I'm still very much an S Jam fanboy. I still stayed up to watch Guido fight at Dragba, and I stayed up to watch Sinead box in the States, and I still watch all of the other guys as well and properly support them. I was going to go to Lorraine's fight at the York Hall, that unfortunately got cancelled last time. So that would have been the first Esham fight I'd have gone and watched in person since it all happened. But yeah, no, proper behind all the guys still, man. Like, nah, buzzing for them all there. Buzzing to see Esham doing well, and Esham's got a big summer coming up, so it'd be good to see hopefully loads more W's go their way.
And can I just ask why? What was it, and why did you end up leaving S Jam?
Do you know what? It was there's no like I done an interview not long ago, and some of the things that people say on there, you got sacked and things like this because of the Zhang fight. Let's just get the stuff right here, yeah. I don't want to throw people under the bus because this was going to come across this way, but I did not pick Zhang to fight Joe. I'm going to make that quite clear, yeah, because that's an actual fact. I didn't, yeah. Don't get me wrong. You make a decision as a team, you win as a team, and lose as a team. That's why I don't want to make a big deal on this because it comes across as a bitter, like horrible person, or it comes across in a bit horrible way. And it's really not that way. Um, and it was nothing to do with that whatsoever. The fact is, I was there a long time. We had achieved great things together, and you mutually decide to move on. I mean, that just kind of happens in work and in life itself. I mean, people don't usually really stay in roles for longer than 6, 7 years anyway. So I don't understand why there's so much confusion and so much conspiracy to what it is. Like, I think obviously because it happened not long after, obviously a big defeat, and a big defeat for Esham and a big defeat for Joe, which obviously he is predominantly the number one in the stable and obviously the biggest fighter in the stable at the time and probably still now. So that's why people carry that opinion across, and boxing's like they people just talk shit, man, and spread it everywhere, don't they? So I totally get it, but it's all none of it is facts, you know. So that's why I don't really want to say too much because um it just upsets people, winds people up, and you know that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to upset anybody. At the end of the day, yeah, me and Eshjam um parted ways some time ago now. We both moved on. They're doing good things. I'm about to be doing good things. Well, I'm doing good things, but that's nobody knows about it yet. But some good things are going to be announced, and yeah, you never know. We might end up being opponents one day, so that'd be quite interesting. But no, it's all good, man. At SJAM, you know what? Despite what people say and whatnot, and you know, people talk shit, man. It's just you got to live with it if you want to work in boxing, I guess. But you know, but no, it's all good. Well, it's all good from my end anyway. So I think the world of them all there, and I've still got the utmost respect for every single one of them, staff and fighters. So it's all good this end. But yeah, there's no big groundbreaking or breaking news for me to say regarding it because there literally isn't. You know, just we've mutually parted ways and we've kind of done our own thing now. And I took a little bit of time. I had some different options and what I wanted to do. I took some good time out to think about it because I'm 28, so the next stage of my life is a very big and important one. So, and I decided I'm going to still stay in the game. I'm working other sports and doing other things as well, which is part of the whole mutual reason of stuff. So I'm working football and I'm doing stuff in other places as well. But I made a decision I am going to come back to boxing. It's like that bug that you can't leave. So yeah, so I still working in boxing. I've got some fighters that I've already signed, very good fighters only, and one of them the promotional deal gets announced this week, and their fight day gets also announced this week as well, and they will be fighting what month are we now? Yeah, mate, yeah, next month.
Interesting times ahead
And
for
the
yourself.
fighter itself is an undefeated fighter who is having a run out this time, even though we wanted a title fight on the first go here, but unfortunately there weren't the time and stuff to really get over the line. So we're going to get a good run out against a good, steady operator, and then we'll be in fighting for a title against the undefeated fighter.
Well, I feel like a lot of people are going to be guessing. It seems like it's some very interesting times ahead for yourself, Shane. Speaking of some very interesting times that we've just had this past weekend, we had the undisputed heavyweight title fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, the first undisputed title fight in the heavyweight division since 1999. Before we fully delve into the fight, I just want to get your thoughts on the event as a whole. I'm sure you, just like myself, you sat down, you probably watched near enough every fight on the card. What did you make of the event as a whole?
Yeah, you know what, man? I love it, man. Do you know what? I don't know why I get stick online. I'm like, it's what everyone's cried out for. Yeah, it might not be in London, but it's not that. It's not. It's not their fault that our country don't publicly fund events and bring them here, and other countries do. At the end of the day, you need to get paid for the risk that you're putting out there, and they all deserve to get paid what they get paid at the end of the day because they're the ones putting the risk. They're the ones doing it for our entertainment at the end of the day. So as long as we can watch it and support it, and then it's great. But no, great card. I can't believe Ajit Cabiel's run right now. Like, I remember watching him years ago against Chisora in Monaco. And he didn't even look that great. Like, and I remember he fought heavyweight not long ago, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and he got dropped by him in the first round. And he didn't look great at all. And now all of a sudden he's on like some killing spree. Like, he's just taking everyone out, man. He's just some dark horse out of nowhere that's literally cutting right through people. It won't be long before he gets a title shot, I imagine now. But no, great performance for him to do that to Frank Sanchez. I mean, look what Frank Sanchez done to F.A. Jagba, beat him with absolute ease. You know, and F.A. Jagba in his own right's a very good heavyweight. So it shows you Adric Cabiel's on some run of form right now, and it's looking like it's going to take someone special to beat him at this moment in time. So be interesting to see who he goes in with next and what route he goes, as people might want to start avoiding him now as well. It's weird because when I saw him against Chisora, he's a very much standoff boxer. He used to box on the back foot, use his feet, try and keep them at range and whatnot. Now he just like comes forward and lets his hands go, and he's a bit like that shows you he's got both styles. I mean, for a heavyweight to have both styles like that, he's a very dangerous man, and he's going to take some beating. I'd really like to watch Javier against Joe Joyce. I think that'd be a very good fight. I think it'd be a good fight for Joe as well. But yeah, we'll see what he does in the future. But yeah, that was a great fight. The Cordina and Anthony fight, man. Bloody hell, actually, that was a great fight, man. Great fight. Happy for Simon Legg as well. He's a nice guy who manages Anthony, I believe. I like Joe Cordino as well, so it's a shame to see him lose, but he lost in a great fight. And I think it looks like he needs to move up in weight. I think that'll be I think he's 32. He's probably been at the same weight, you know. He had a long amateur career as well. I just think, yeah, he needs probably a bit of a change and a bit of a new weight division to go into. But take no credit away, man. It was a great performance and a great win and a massive upset. Isaac Lowe, kind of typical Isaac Lowe performance in my opinion. Moses Tuma just not showing us anything we don't already know, because we know how special he is, exceptional. But gets his first belt, and he's going to take some doing, man. Listen, I'm about to sign a heavyweight, so I won't say too much, but yeah, I mean, people probably want to keep their fighters away from him, man. He's a bit of a nightmare. He's a bit of a nightmare, man. He's going to take some beating. He's only worth the fight when the reward's there. You see, right now the reward isn't there. You know, you ain't going to get. It ain't going to be for a proper title. It ain't going to be for loads of money. You know, and he could end your career at any moment. That bloke, man, he's seriously special. I think how young he is as well. It's quite scary actually. But obviously he's got his new training set up now as well. I know he jumped around a little bit with Al Smith before. He looks like he's got a proper training team set up now, so it'll be really exciting to see where he goes. Yeah, and then you had Cabiel obviously as well. Yeah, and then the main event. Oh yeah, then we had Bradis and Open Tie. That was really cool to see that photo of them in hospital together afterwards, man.
Yeah,
Boxing's a weird sport, isn't it?
that was quite cool,
And
wasn't it?
then I imagine there's no other sport, maybe potentially UFC and MMA as well, but like where you'd really ever see that. It's just absolutely mental, aren't they? Like what a brutal fight as well, you know. I knew I would win that fight, but Brady didn't have enough to do it the first time, and everybody thought he'd be able to do it the second time. He's got old, hasn't really had the activity he probably needed going into that fight. You know, Jai had been on the most incredible run of form right now as well. I mean, he needed that, I think, as well, where he was kind of just steamrolling people. Like respectively, I like John Thompson a lot, but he made fairly easy work of it, and the same with Ellis Oro. It probably needed a fight like that, you know, to give him the rounds and experience again at the top level. You know? So especially if you want to go on to bigger things and maybe become undisputed as a cruiserweight or go up to heavyweight. I mean, he'll cause problems up at heavyweight as well, man. So be interesting. I'd love to see him fight Usyk. You know? I'll be real. I'd love to see him fight, but I don't really see what's in that fight for Usyk. So I don't think we will. But yeah, and then obviously the main event. Wow, I've got to be here, and I'm hoping it doesn't sting me. But but yeah, yeah, no, that main event was unbelievable, man. Like Fury Usyk, I just can't believe what Fury's doing. Why the hell is his dad shouting over him in the corner? Tyson Fury needs to get his dad out of the corner. I'm telling you, he needs to remove his dad from his team. Like, let's just go back here. I don't want to make this like a John Fury rant again, because I've been there before. But do you know how infuriating it is to watch, right? Like, you go to another country, yeah, a country that has completely turned its name around, doing great things in sports, not just in boxing, in sports as a whole. Like, very welcoming. Honestly, I've been there before. I went there when I was 18 because my ex-girlfriend was from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And I went there for 3 months. That was all those years ago, 10 years ago. And you know what? Like, I'm very respectful of the country because obviously my exes and stuff in the past and their family are from Saudi Arabia. How can you go there, headbutt what looks like a child or a very young man, anyway, to say the least, who all he did was shout Usyk. He wasn't rude. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't even anywhere near John Fury's face. He had all the people that were shouting it. He decided to headbutt the smallest one that was on the team. How about that bloke that he was pressing the head against? Why didn't he headbutt him? That big bloke, you know? Like, honestly, I'm quite sick of hearing about him, to be honest. Like, I find him quite repulsive. You can't go acting like that and then, you know, headbutting people. And I don't know how he got away with it and how he was still allowed to be there, to be honest. I thought that would have been the end of him there, but, you know, you can't do it. That's an AVH where you committed there. You know, you've headbutted someone. You gave the guy a bit of a cut, gave himself a bigger cut, so obviously doesn't really have to headbutt anyone properly either. But, you know, it's just ridiculous. There's no need for that. You know, banter, and that's fine. You know, we're going to do you, all that stuff. That's fine. Yeah, that's part of the fight. But you don't need to start headbutting people. And you don't need to headbutt people for literally no reason. You're shouting Fury, that guy you shouted Usyk, no one in your face and red back.
Well, I mean,
You
I
know,
suppose you kind of started off.
sorry.
You kind of started off the questions for me already because one of the questions I did have wrote down was
Yeah, but
obviously
no, sorry, but yeah, just to go back on it. I think what Fury needs to do, he needs to get his dad out of the team. And I know
okay.
that's not an easy decision to make because it's still his dad.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, and that's never going to change. You know, you love him and whatever, but you need to be selfish and think about your boxing career here. That arguably cost him the fight. Yeah, because Fury at the time was starting to really find comfort, and he really got settled in the fight. And you know, it's very difficult to even get clear instructions from one person. There's a lot going on, your mind's everywhere, you know, and now you've got fucking multiple voices shouting, like, and not even what John Fury was saying was even helping at all. Like, it was completely against the style that was working. Like, absolutely crazy, man. And like, it just all comes from an ego position. He doesn't like, he's not doing that because he thinks that's the best thing to do. It's just all ego. That's exactly what it is. That's what they're all shouting about on fight weekends and stuff like that. But you look at Tyson's team, Shane Fury, young Huey Fury, you know, they're all really respectful people. They're all really respectful people who don't do all of that. Yeah, Shane might have shouted a little bit here and there, but he's never like physically hurt anyone. He's never been that abusive. I never really remember saying anything that was outrageous either. You know, they're really respectful, but their Fury family are really respectful, good people. Even though big about Peter Fury and that, really humble, respectful people. Even Tyson is as well, you know. It's just I just don't understand why he's like that. It's just ridiculous, you know. And he's actually turned people against his son, like and turning people against the family and that. And it's just like it's not necessary. Like Tyson Fury is a legend in the game and in this country. You know, people love him here. He's very inspirational. He's turned his life around. He's still one of the best heavyweights of this generation of all. Well, not of all time. One of the best heavyweights of this generation. He's still got unbelievable wins on his record. And I think people need to remember that when they give Fury stick. He doesn't deserve it. He still went in there and had a very close fight against a top level, well, heavyweight and cruiserweight. And he probably did push Usyk further than anyone else has, really, apart from maybe Marius Bradis as well. That was quite a close fight, but and you know, there's still a big exciting rematch to be had. Then Fury can win that rematch if he gets things right. At one point, it looked like he was going to win the fight. So, and that round 9 definitely took a lot out of him as well. But yeah, I just think what a spectacle, what a great event, and I really appreciate what they're doing over there because they're making the big fights happen. They're making promoters work together. You know, they're getting people paid what they should be getting paid. And you know, and as a fight fan, we're getting to watch the best fights. So everyone's a winner, aren't they? I don't see how anyone can possibly lose out of that situation. So it's just a great event with great people and great fights getting made.
going back to the points that you're making about obviously John Fury, especially in the corner on Fight Night, Fury has made it very public that he seems unhappy with the corner. You know, in a very small press fight in a post-fight press conference, got that bit wrong there. He did go out and say that if his corner had told him that he was down going into those last 2 rounds, then he would have went and done something about it. But because him and the team were under the illusion that he was up, he kind of just stuck to what he was doing already. Obviously you mentioned the confusion when like it's already hard enough to hear one trainer, but when you've got John in his right ear saying the complete opposite, do you think it's pretty clear some changes possibly need to be made to his team, isn't it?
Honestly, I've managed many fights and been a part of many, not in the corner, but you're right beside the corners and stuff. I've been in the corners actually. I'll tell you a story about that. So I was in the I was in the corner when we had a fight in Mexico for a guy we used to run called Darius Fulgham. And there's a female fighter on the card, and the licensing's very different out there, yeah. And the female trainer never turned up. There was another female on the card, so I offered to do her corner, and we was in the away corner against the home fighter, and we knocked her out in the second round. So I've done corners before. So Ben Davison, watch out. But no, I'm joking. but no, it's ridiculous, man. Everyone knows. Everyone literally, even like casual fans, like people like my mum, know. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like you're going to the biggest fight of your life, one of the biggest fights of all time, let alone in your life, like of all time. And you've got that going on. How unprofessional is it? One trainer and one voice. It's that simple. Yeah. It's not rocket science. Whether you're fighting in a 4-rounder against a journeyman, or even if you are the journeyman, or you're fighting at the top level, it's one voice in the corner, and that's the trainer. Yeah. Not someone's dad, not someone's second cousin, or not someone's cut man. No one. Yeah. The only person who talks in that corner is a trainer, and they always are supposed to give minimal amount of words, very basic, short information. They're not going to be able to take in loads of information in 30 seconds while you're in an arena with loads of noise and stuff, and they've got to go drink water and, take in what's kind of going on themselves. Only small, precise amounts of information and said very calmly. Not some man screaming behind your ear, yeah, who's not even supposed to be there in the first place, and who hasn't even been your trainer for the camp. And then your trainer, and not only they both saying complete different things as well, like to make it even worse. Like, it's frustrating because I feel for Tyson. He's put in all that hard work over a long career, turned pro at 18, fought at every level, won at every level as well, And that was the one moment and the one time against number one versus number two for everything. And, he probably won't get the chance to ever be undisputed again now. And it's been robbed from him, potentially, from people not knowing how to do their job properly. And that's quite sad, really. But then you can't take anything away from Usyk as well, because Usyk's just an exceptional, not even fighter, but just human being, man. Like, forget ever fighting that guy, bloody hell, man. He's just so ahead of the game, isn't he? He's literally a scientist at work. Like, he slowly dissects you and breaks you down. Like, he's just on another level, man. But yeah, it's frustrating, but all credit to Usyk, and I'm actually quite happy Usyk won because he's a very good guy. And when you hear about his interviews and the way that he talks and what he's been through and stuff like that, and you hear him speak about his late father, like, how can you just not be inspired by it, man? He'd be an exceptional manager or trainer one day. I really hope that. I'm assuming he won't have much longer in the game. There's not much left for him to do, but I really hope he stays in the game in some capacity because he would help so many young fighters. He really would. But yeah, I really do hope he stays in the game. I really, really like him.
Just talk me through how you saw the fight as it played out. Obviously, I'm sure everyone was trying their best to keep score of the fight. Just talk me through how you scored it.
So I gave the first 2 rounds to I gave the first 2 rounds to Usyk, and then I think I gave Fury the next four, if I remember correctly. Then I think Usyk won. No, I might have given the next five. It's 4 or 5. Then Usyk won. Then Usyk had that round 9, and then Usyk just took over from there. Do you know what I mean? It's really stepped up the levels, and Fury was lucky to get away with round 9, man. To be honest with you, because if that was stopped, no one would have argued. Do you know what I mean? So definitely would have been a fair stoppage. But I was a very experienced referee, so he actually did quite a good job in the end, really. But yeah, that's the way I saw it. But listen, that can change. I mean, Fury was being the strong man and the big man. He was really getting to Usyk, and that was kind of why I didn't really understand why he changed it. And then when he was switching to southpaw, he was having success, but then he stayed orthodox for the rest of the fight. I was like, what's going on? But listen, it's easy for me to say from my sofa watching on TV. Very different being in there, and you've got Usyk coming towards you and hitting you from every angle and whatnot. It's like a much different way of looking at it, isn't it? So yeah, no, I listen, it is what it is, but I really hope the rematch happens because I'd love to watch it again.
So you mentioned the referee, and you say that he handled the situation very well and letting the fight continue. He has also come under a bit of stick from the likes of Derek Chisora and David Hay in the press, with them saying about the referee, and Chisora even actually saying directly to the referee, that they feel it was the longest count in history and that it was way longer than what it should have been. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it. Always conspiracies, isn't it? No, it ain't. For starters, right? Just so people actually understand the rules, yeah. So the ref was right to give a standing count because the ropes held him up. Yeah, so it's an actual rule. So they totally right him within his right as a referee to do that. Secondly, the count only starts when the fighter goes back to the opposing corner. Yeah, as in the opponent, right? So it's not Fury's fault that he was on top of him on the other side of the ring. And it's not the referee's fault he is either, is it? That's just the way that it is. It's not always these conspiracies that people make out there is. That was one of the most experienced referees in the world. Yeah, he has seen everything there is to see. It's not all conspiracy. Not everyone just all of a sudden does their job wrong. Yeah, like it's not a slow count. It's not even the referee who does the count, by the way. It's the timekeeper. So I don't even understand why that's becoming like such a big thing towards the referee. So yeah, no, I don't. And I think that was exceptional refereeing under pressure and on the biggest stage. That's what I think. No rule was broken, and he stuck to work well within the right of his rules and put them into force. I think people actually don't really know what the rules are. you know, like ex-world champions that don't know what the rules are. I think they just forget what they are. Maybe because they've never had that happen in one of their fights. They don't really know them, or maybe forget them. Like they didn't do anything wrong. I don't really understand what could be wrong with that. Like, and if they were just doing it to keep Fury in there, then they would have robbed Usyk, wouldn't they? And they didn't. So I don't understand why that would be really beneficial to anyone. But just so Fury didn't get stopped. Like, say what if he did? I don't really understand why it's got to be like a conspiracy. It doesn't really make much sense.
I suppose my last question, obviously I've got two more here. If a rematch is to happen, obviously while there is the contractual agreement for a rematch, there are some people thinking that this might not happen, just due to, there could be a lack of fire. Usyk's kind of done it all now. Is there that desire for the rematch? But if a rematch is to happen, what would need to change on both sides, both in the ring and out the ring? What would need to change for either Usyk to defend or Fury to dethrone him?
If I was Usyk, I would retire because there's not much to do. You know, he spoke in an interview about the sacrifice he has to make, which I found incredible. You know, he's got a little girl, he's got two little boys. You know, he's got a big family. You know, he's made all the money that he needs to make. He's achieved everything he set out to achieve. It's just like, what more is there to really do? Do you really want to spend another 9 months away from your family? Do you really want to go through all of that again? And you know, and then the worst thing is if he does lose the next one, and you've got to have a fair head, haven't you? So like, when does it end? So that's what I would do if I was him. But I'm not him, and he's a fighting man and a completely different human being to me. So he's gonna do something. If I was Fury, I would stick with Sugar Hill, remove the dad from the camp, remove him from being in the corner. I think that's quite important. Listen, it's a difficult one. If his dad has a positive influence on him and camp and stuff, it's difficult to get rid of him. But his dad openly spoke out against Sugar Hill multiple times, you know, and wasn't very nice about it. So that must cause problems in camp as well. And I don't really see why he would go public about that when it's Tyson Fury's decision. But I do think something has to be done about that corner because it was a shambles, to say the least. And other than that, there's not really a lot else to say he needs to change. I think he was in great shape. I think for parts of the fight, he boxed a very good fight. He obviously needs to learn from that and learn how to execute that maybe for longer or change it up, but find a way to win the rounds and whatnot. And maybe that is just part of what that reason was the corner. So it's a difficult one. At that level, though, it's fine margins, man. You know, like mess ups in the corner can cost you fights at that level. You can get away with it at a lower level, but at that level, you'll find it very hard to get away with it. So yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done there. But Tyson Fury is a very experienced and a very clever man. I'm sure he'll work out what he needs to do. I just hope the rematch happens, to be honest.
Well, Shane, it's always good to get your insight on these big fights. Thank you very much for your time and joining me here today. I'll let you go now. Go enjoy the rest of the sunny day. Cheers. Thank you.
That's it, mate. Okay, mate. See you later.